What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another dino build, and today we are taking a look at none other than the Basilisk. Now, this creature is only exclusively found on Aberration, unless, of course, you've transferred him off to another map, which could definitely be the case, so do take that into mind. Now, the Basilisk is hands down one of the strongest creatures in the entirety of Ark, to be honest. Like, in all of Ark, it is hands down one of the strongest creatures. Now, before we get into any of its builds or anything like that, first we're going to go over its basic abilities. Now, you guys did just see us there fling a giant ball of poison goop at, I think it was a bulldog. Yep, that bulldog just continued to die there. Now, that is the Basilisk's secondary ability. Now, his primary ability is just a simple bite attack, which you can see there. He's able to bite and he's able to harvest meat and everything like that. You can see if we can spin around here. There we go. You see there we got the bulldog. Now, his turn radius is pretty horrible. I mean, it does pick up a bit when you go sprinting. You can see they were able to pretty much turn closely. However, when you're doing the regular walking speed, it's not the fastest. So do take that into mind. Now, his third ability is that he has the ability to roar. You saw there, cute little roar. Now, another ability that he has, once I figure out what button it is to press it, I can't remember the button for the life of me, is that you can actually bury underground with him. Now, I don't remember how it works on PlayStation. Okay, maybe they've removed the burying thing. So pretty much what you could do before was you were able to actually bury with the Basilisk, and you could actually move along underground with your Basilisk, and it would just deplete your oxygen stat. That doesn't seem to be the case now, however, so I don't know what's going on there. But they are pretty much his basic abilities. You can hop off him and tell him to bury, where he'll actually ambush any creatures that come up to you. So you can see there he's buried underground. I don't think he can follow you underground. No, I don't think so. We're just got to find, where did that Kano go? So you can see here, this Kano, if we bring him over here and we say we get attacked, watch. The Basilisk will pop out and attack the Kano. You can see there, boom, bada, boom, there comes the Basilisk, raging as ever and ready to kill the Kano for us. Alright. So, now we're going to get into some builds for the Karkanos. However, we are just going to go over some quick, not terminology, but just some general stats of the Basilisk. Now, the Basilisk is able to do trample damage like the Rex and the Giga. You can see there we're actually doing 60 damage for just slithering over the top of the Doedicurus. Now, as well as that, the Basilisk has the largest carrying capacity out of any dino in the game, aside from the Titanosaur. And the Basilisk's speed is on par with the Giga. So this makes him one of the best, I mean the best transport mounts when it comes to transporting items and gear and structures across the map. This guy is hands down one of the best creatures to take for it because of his large weight pool. Now you can see there he also takes quite a bit of fall damage. We tried to jump off there to negate that, but he actually took half health. This guy is extremely susceptible to fall damage, so do be very careful when doing so. And because of his large turning radius, it can be a bit unavoidable sometimes, so do take that into mind as well. Now, one last and final fact of the Basilisk before we go about getting into any of his builds is that he actually reduces the carrying capacity of stone by 75%. So the same thing that the Doedicurus does, the Basilisk does. So he has the ability to reduce the weight of stone by 75% in his inventory. Now, as well as that, smaller creatures such as raptors actually aggro onto the Basilisk, which is weird considering he's such a big dude. However, creatures such as rock drakes and reaper kings, I believe, do not aggro on the Basilisk. So, sorry, not reaper kings, Karkanoses do not aggro on the Basilisk, so that is a very big helpful hand to have. Alrighty guys, we're going to get into the builds now and we'll showcase them to you shortly. Alrighty guys, so this first build is the Transporter build. As you guys would have seen this coming for sure, due to earlier in the video, as well as we normally include one of these in every video. So the Basilisk already has a huge, like I'm talking colossal amount of weight on him. You can see there, this guy's 150 tamed, and he's got 3,344. You can choose to pump this up if you want to. You know, you could probably get it to 4k, even 5k without wasting too many points. Like, look at that. Just like that. However, the main stats that you want to pump on your Basilisk are namely movement speed as well as health. The reason you want to pump health is because there are a lot of cliffs and your Basilisk can take a lot of fall damage on Aberration. So you want to make sure that he has a decent health pool in case he does fall and then gets into a fight with something. You need to make sure that that's the case because you don't really want to lose one of the hardest creatures to tame over a raptor killing you. You can see this guy's just continuously. Stamina I would not worry about at all. Like I said, do pump some points into weight if you so choose to, but the rest you really just want to pump into health and movement speed. Now we'll shortly show you just how fast this guy can go. This is for the transport build, I remember. Now you also have the ability to go over small rocks as well. You can see there, we're able to traverse that rock pretty easily. You can't, however, scale up walls and stuff like that, so you do have to be careful. And like I said, you also have to be careful of fall damage. Now another reason why you want to pump up health is because of that Ravager bleed as well. They deal crap tons of damage when there's swarms of them, so you need to be careful. But the movement speed definitely helps you transport the goods and the items from base to base across Aberration. Just take note, when you are falling off a cliff or something like that, try and jump off your Basilisk like a few seconds before it hits the ground, and you'll find that it'll actually negate the fall damage, which is a huge, huge help. Now, this next build for the Basilisks is the Tamer build. The Basilisks deal similar torpor damage to that of the Scorpions, so it's 3 times their damage, which is a lot of torpor. So for example here, we're just going to give ourselves a Spyglass. Take a look at what level this Spino is. Now, in between each shot of its secondary attack, you need to give it 10 seconds, otherwise the torpor won't stack and you'll just end up killing whatever it is you're trying to tame. So you can see here, this Spino is level 15, so this guy should knock out relatively quickly. So, once we fire our glob, you'll see that this guy will take the damage, and he'll actually deal damage over time. Now, you just simply wait, and then you can fire another glob into whatever it is you're trying to tame, and it'll actually take torpor damage. That is if you don't kill it first. Now, you can see here, this is a very weak Spino, so it's obviously going to die when we throw another glob of poison at it. However, you can easily pair this Basilisk torpor damage with your own torpor damage. So, here we go. We've got a Diplodocus here. Maybe this guy will prove a better test subject. So you can see there, we'll wait the 10 seconds that it takes for the torpor to kick in, and I think that's a flea because he's getting knocked out. There we go, let's try that again. Now this build mainly focuses on leveling up your melee damage as much as possible, because obviously the higher your melee damage is, the more torpor you're going to do. However, you do have to be careful and try and focus on taming high level dudes, otherwise you will kill whatever you come into sight with. You can see here we've got over just under 700 melee damage, which is an incredible amount of melee damage. Before we were hitting 362 with our poison breath, we're now hitting 812. So you need to be careful of that, like I said. Maybe don't pump it all into melee damage if you don't want to. You can pump it into health as well. However, it is entirely debatable because, well, like I said, you can do torpor damage. Now, you can see here, this poor Karkanos is not going to last against us because, well, we have a Basilisk that deals 812 damage per Spitball. You can use this as an option. It's not the greatest option to have. The opportunity is out there if you guys do want to take it. I personally would not recommend this build for taming up regular stuff because you will kill it. Like, hands down. It's not going to stand a chance. You will kill it. You can see here, this male Basilisk might get knocked out. I don't know if you can knock them out because you do have to tame them by feeding them rock drake eggs. Now, one thing to note about the poison breath is that you can actually kill yourself with your own Basilisk's poison breath. Because it does that little cloud damage, you can actually kill yourself, so do be careful of that as well. But you can see here, I don't know if we're going to be able to knock out this this Basilisk. What level are you, Mr. Spino? You're level 20. You're probably going to die in one shot too. Let's fire a little ball over that way, see if that hits the Spino. And you can see there, the Spino's already out of here. He doesn't want none of it. He's like, there's no way I'm going to survive this. And yeah, you can see that the actual damage outweighs the torpor damage, so you do have to be very careful of that. But that's pretty much all there is to this build. I mean, we could really simplify it, I guess, and say that the final build that we were going to showcase to you guys is actually a very similar build to this. So instead of pumping all your points into melee damage, pretty much evenly distribute it between your health and melee damage, so that way you have a decent amount of health for tanking, and you have a decent amount of melee damage for just obliterating everything you see. Then what you want to do is you want to head down to the deep depths of Aberration, and you want to take on as many Nameless as you possibly can. Because you deal a lot of damage and your poison breath does that cloud effect, you can actually kill Nameless really easily, really fast, and you can farm them for the Nameless Venom really quickly, which is great for raising up the Reaper Queens and Reaper Kings, sorry, just the Reaper Kings, not the Reaper Queens. So there is that option as well. Like you can see here, we are dealing shit tons, and I mean shit tons of damage just by pumping everything solely into melee damage. But if you guys don't want to go down that route and you want to pump a bit of health into it, by all means do so, and then head down into the depths, take on the, well, anything really, because with the Basilisk this run, you'll easily be able to take on everything the Aberration throws at you. So guys, I'm sorry for that little last build, but there's no real point in wasting another 3 minutes of your time to go over pretty much the same build when, you know, it's pretty much exactly the same as this. You just need to change one of the stats that you pump up. So yeah guys, definitely take that into mind, and I would definitely recommend getting yourselves a Basilisk if you don't already have one, or you already haven't messed around with one, because they are a ton of fun to use and they just wreck anything and everything. Alrighty guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below for more. But other than that, I will catch you in the next one.